You've learnt the word and you can write the word, but when you say the word, nobody understands you and communication breaks down. Not good. So I've taken the 20 most commonly mispronounced words from the students inside my courses over the past 6 months, and I'm going to teach you them all inside this lesson. I help lots of students inside my courses with their pronunciation. In fact, my students come from 90 different countries. But everyone makes pronunciation mistakes because of these 3 reasons. The first reason is that you stress the wrong syllable. And this is really common, and it's probably one of the biggest reasons people make pronunciation mistakes. Like, for example, if I ask you if you know who David Beckham is, do you know? What about if I ask you if you know who David Beckham is? If you stress the wrong syllable in a word, it becomes very difficult to understand what we're talking about. The second reason is that you're using the wrong sound in a word. For example, the word work, which many students pronounce incorrectly because of that vowel sound in the middle. If you put the or sound there instead of the sound, it becomes a different word. It becomes walk instead of work. And the third reason is because of silent letters and students often wanting to pronounce all the letters in a word. Well, English is full of silent letters, and if you pronounce these silent letters, it can be very difficult to understand what you're talking about. Like the word Q. If you pronounce that Q-E-O-E, people would just think you're making a funny sound. So we're going to divide today's lesson into those 3 categories. There are 20 words, and I want you to take note and tell me in the comments how many of these words you currently pronounce badly. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, this section is all about stress, and when I talk about a stressed syllable, just know that every word in English has 1 stressed syllable and the other syllables are weak. So listen to the word computer, computer. Pew is the stressed syllable in that word. Okay, the first word that you are probably mispronouncing is this one. Interesting. And this has the stress on the first syllable. It's not interesting with the stress on the second. No. Interesting with the stress on the first syllable. And this is also true for related words like interestingly or interest or interested. That one is such a common mistake. The second one is realized, and students often say realized, but basically you have to follow the suffix rule in this. The suffix rule is that we don't stress a suffix in a word. A suffix is something like eyes at the end of realize or organize. When we have a suffix like that, there are 3 exceptions, but normally we do not stress the suffix. And words ending in eyes never stress eyes. Realize with the stress on the first syllable. The next one is perspective. You need a very short first syllable, and then stress the second syllable. Perspective. And the same goes for the next word, which is fulfil. Again, short first syllable, stress the second syllable. It's not fulfill. No, it's fulfill. And this is also true for related words like fulfilling, fulfillment. All of these words have the stress on fill. Okay, the next 4 words actually all follow this same rule. Short first syllable, stressed second syllable. And the next one is development. Development, where we need to stress vel. And it's really important to know that all the other syllables in that word are just weak. Say them quickly. They're not important. The only important syllable that you need to really focus on is vel. development. And that is also true for the verb develop, developing, developed. All these related words have the stress on the second syllable. The next one is significantly or significant. Short first syllable, stress the second syllable, and people will understand you much more clearly. Significant. And the next one is participate. Again, we need to stress the second syllable. But the main problem with my students' pronunciation of this word is that they tend to want to stress the suffix again. They want to stress ate. They often say participate, and that is breaking the suffix rule. Don't stress suffixes in English. The next word is very similar. Associate. We want to stress the second syllable. Associate. And again, we do not want to stress ate in words that end A-T-E. It's associated. Now, I understand that this can be a little bit confusing because look at this word. Here, we do stress A. Association. But the reason for that is very simple. When you have a word that ends ation, the stress is always on the A in that word. Doesn't matter if it's a very small word, like station, we still stress A, station, or a very long word, like procrastination. Again, we stress that A at the end of ation. So it's associate, associated, but association. All right, the next one is characteristics. Words that end ick or ix always have the stress on the penultimate syllable. Characteristics. That's the penultimate syllable. You can see this rule in other words like Olympic, drastic, fantastic. But generally, with long words like this, like characteristic, which has 5 syllables, if you can focus on the most important syllable in the word, it's going to be much easier to pronounce that word. If you focus on and try to put the stress on a different syllable, you're going to get yourself into trouble and it will be more complicated to pronounce that word. Okay, the next one is this, a very common word. And we need to stress the last syllable in this word, understand, understand. And in fact, all verbs, not all words, but all verbs that begin under don't have the stress on under. So it's understand, undergo, underachieve. Okay, and the last one in this stress section is not exactly one word, but a little grammatical construction, which is this. As adjective as possible, like as soon as possible, as fast as possible. I often hear students really stressing the word as at the beginning of this little construction, like as fast as possible, as soon as possible. A good rule to follow in English is that all these little grammar words like as and other prepositions like for, from, to, and articles like the, these are all not stressed. In English, they're very weak. We say them very quickly. They often take the schwa sound because they're so weak and quick and unimportant. But generally, we do stress adjectives in sentences. So in this little construction, we have little grammar word, important adjective, little grammar word. So stress the word in the middle, but don't stress the word as in this construction. All right, in this section, students tend to use a different sound than the sound they should, and this can often cause misunderstanding. It can often cause me to understand a different word or to simply not understand what they're saying. So the first one in this category is this, 10 years. A decade, dec, with the sound, not the sound, like decade. I don't know where that comes from, but dec, decade is what you want for this one. The next one is threat. This also has the same sound as decade. Like head. Okay, threat ends the same as get. And I understand the confusion. I mean, look at these words here and listen to the vowel sound in the middle of each one. Meet, E-E-E. Great, A-A-A. Threat, E-E-E. They're all different. And yes, the E-A combination of letters normally gives the E sound in the majority of cases, but it just shows that it's really important that when you learn a word, you learn the pronunciation of the word at the same time. Okay, the next word is this one. We looked at it earlier in the introduction. It is work. This has what I call the disgusting sound in the middle. The disgusting sound because it's the sound you make when something is quite disgusting. Like, work, work. And the problem with this word is that my students' pronunciation tends to be influenced by how the word is written. So because it's written with an OR, they tend to reflect that in their pronunciation of the word. But the disgusting sound, and English in general, does not work like that. I mean, look at all these words that have the disgusting sound. The first word the nurse heard, it's spelt differently in each case, but quite often from students I might hear things like the first word the nurse heard, with a different vowel sound in each case. The disgusting sound is consistent, it's identical in all of these words, and the letter R is silent, so it's the first word the nurse heard. And so we need that sound in the word work. Work. Okay, the next one is this. Yawn. Yawning. This has the cute sound in it. I call it the cute sound because it's normally the sound you make when you see a cute little baby or a cute dog or a cute cat, whatever you find to be cute. Oh, oh. And it's that sound that we need in this. The sound is really common in words like for or more, water, horses, more water, 4 horses, or, yaw, yawning. And the next one is this. Students tend to pronounce that letter E in the middle like an experience. But no, it's E. So basically, we're pronouncing the beginning of this word like the letter X and the letter P. Experience. The next one is this. We have 2 ways that we normally pronounce the letter G in English. One is g, the hard G, and one is j, the soft G. And this one has the hard G, g, target, not target. And the last one in this sound section is the past participle of the verb to drive. Drive has the I sound, but the past participle does not. It's not driven, it's driven. Driven. Like the past participle of the verb to give, given. All right, let's have a look at some silent letters, shall we? Silent letters are a super common reason for students mispronouncing words in English, but as I said, I've looked at all the most common mistakes from the students inside my pronunciation course and my daily quick fix course over the past 6 months, and there weren't many of these silent letter corrections. So the 2 that were commonly mispronounced were this one, which has a silent B. It's debt. And it's important to remember that when I or anybody else says that a silent letter is silent, it means that you must not pronounce it. Don't even think about it when you're pronouncing the word. Silent B. Debt. And the other one is this one, which has a silent W. It's answer. Answer. No W in this word. And another similar word to this is the word sword. Sword, which has a completely silent W too. Don't try to spell English when you're talking to people, because it will not work and it will be much more difficult to understand you. Okay, silent letters is a complicated topic in English. There aren't many rules, but I found some. And in that video up there, I've given you some silent letter rules so that you can avoid this mistake and be understood more clearly. If you want to really improve your pronunciation so that you can speak more clearly and be understood more easily and to understand native speakers more easily, then in my daily quick fix group, we use the bite-sized method just to give you a little bit of English every day to take your English to an advanced level. And every week we focus on one specific sound of English, and also every week we focus on some linking techniques, some stress, some silent letters, everything that is going to help you speak advanced English in an easy to understand way. And if you're ready to join my full British English pronunciation course, then join Pronunciation Quick Fix. That is a full comprehensive course of all the vowel sounds, all the consonant sounds, all the linking techniques, all silent letters, all the rules on stress and linking. And that course comes with weekly personalized feedback from me on your pronunciation. So I'll leave a link and a coupon code for both courses in the description. I'd love to have you there and to help you with your British English pronunciation. So as you have seen in this video, most of my students' pronunciation mistakes come from stressing the wrong syllable in words. And I may be wrong, but you've probably never learned anything about syllable stress and word stress in English. So I highly recommend you watch that video next, because there I give you 8 simple rules that you can follow to really fix your pronunciation of thousands of words. So I'll see you there next. Bye for now.